Happy Monday from Agile Learning Labs World Headquarters. Today I want to talk just a little bit about what does a product owner do to prepare for the sprint planning meeting. And you may recall that the sprint planning meeting is where the team commits to a set of product backlog items that they have full confidence they can deliver this sprint. They negotiate the sprint goal. The sprint goal is the overarching big picture thing that we're trying to achieve this sprint. And then also the development team makes their plan for what work they'll have to do in order to deliver those product backlog items and achieve their sprint goal. And so in order to be ready for that, there is work that a product owner does to prepare for that meeting. Because typically a product owner leads the first part of sprint planning and then is available in the second part of sprint planning to answer questions, give clarification, and to negotiate the sprint goal further if the team realizes that they don't believe they can deliver the set of product backlog items that they initially committed to. So leading up to that meeting, product owners should have a well-groomed product backlog. This is work that they do in conjunction with their development team and the stakeholders. My guidance is that you want to have 2 to 3 sprints worth of sprint ready stories up at the top of the product backlog. Sprint ready stories are those stories that the development team and the product owner have identified together as being refined well enough that they're ready to come into sprint planning. Sprint ready generally means that they're small. My starting guideline is always any story that is bigger than 20% of your team's weekly capacity is automatically too big to be sprint ready. So if my team does 1 week sprints and our velocity is 100 points per sprint, then any story that is bigger than 20 points is just automatically too big to be sprint ready. Sprint ready also means that the development team and the product owner and the stakeholders all believe that we have the same shared understanding of what the outcome of each of those stories will be, or that sprint ready story will be. Sprint ready means that none of us knows about anything that would prevent us from finishing that story in a single sprint. So for example, a dependency. So as a product owner, I want to work with my team to make sure we've got 2 to 3 sprints worth of those sprint ready stories up at the top of our product backlog. I want to understand my team's velocity and understand, anything unusual that's coming up, right? Is there a holiday coming up or some people going on vacation that might lead the team to commit to perhaps less than they usually do? And then based on that information, I'm going to try to craft my proposed sprint goal. So I'm going to pick some stories that go together well to support some big sprint goal and do not exceed the team's usual capacity. And that's my starting point. And I'm going to walk in, and in the sprint planning meeting, I'm probably going to share, hey, this is the sprint goal that I'm hoping that we might agree to this sprint. And I've selected some stories that support that. But then in sprint planning, I'm going to offer stories one at a time to the whole team, starting with that very most important story, the one at the top of the product backlog. And one of the things that I might find in conversation with my development team is that, my notion of what I was hoping we would be able to get this sprint doesn't align fully and well with the development team's notion of what's possible. And so we may have to negotiate and adjust the sprint goal. Because the goal is in sprint planning, we're going to find a goal that we all believe we can achieve and a set of stories that we all believe we can deliver and that will support that sprint goal by the end of the sprint. So my prep work is to have sprint ready stories, understand my team's capacity, and have put together kind of a straw man, if you will, notion of what I hope the sprint goal will be, what stories I'm hoping the team might be willing to commit to support that goal. And then I can walk into sprint planning ready to engage with the team. And the one caution I would give is don't get too attached to your initial notion of the sprint goal and the stories that'll support it. That's your starting point, right? In the meeting, we really want to have a full conversation, discussion, negotiation to find something that everybody is fully on board with. And that often means give and take on the part of the product owner in terms of what I was hoping for versus what the team has full confidence they can deliver. So that's my thought for today. In the title section, the text section of this Facebook Live, you're going to find a link to a article I wrote about this topic a little while back. So feel free to click on that for more information. Have a fabulous week, and that is all for now.